What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the Gamescom retail the week of May 14th. We have a good lineup of games. I've tried some of these already, seen them in action at either Dice Tower West this year or Gamma, which I attended about almost a month ago now, or 3 weeks ago. What a fun time Gamma was. I do have a video of that coming out soon, just trying to edit it only because I am putting overlays and more videos into that to explain and show all these games I took videos and pictures of. Let's get this video going. Keep in mind, I'm covering the Gamescom retail in the US. Some of these games may have already been released in other regions of the world. If that is the case, you may already see coverage from content creators, or you may own a copy because you went to a convention and they were selling early copies there. I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US. If a release date for a game is pushed back, I will make sure to update you in the new week's release video. That way you know what's going on and you're updated on the pushback of the game. Let's get these games covered. First one up is going to be our Renegade Games, My Little Pony Adventure in Equestria deck building game, Princess Pageantry expansion. I talked about this game a lot. I talked about all of them a lot, and they have a bunch of expansions for all these games. Basically, it's a cooperative deck building game. You achieve different tasks, and when you achieve the task, your goal is to complete them to finish up a scenario or a campaign mission. This is going to add some more content, some more cards, more playable characters, as well as if you pre-order directly through the website, you also get a promo. I love my promos, which is typically why I go through the website when I pre-order, like the Power Rangers deck building game. I don't own My Little Pony. The IP doesn't really interest me too much. However, I've heard great things about the game being a simple, quick deck building game. Maybe a good way to introduce some kids into some fun, cooperative deck building fun. My Little Pony Adventures in Equestria deck building game, Princess Pageantry expansion. It's coming out on May 16th. Coming up next on May 17th. Almost said March. I'm like backwards in time. May 17th. Unmatched for King and Country. Interesting stuff. For King and Country is going to include 3 different characters for the Unmatched playable dueling card game. It's actually a really fun game. Unmatched, if you haven't played before, one of the best dueling card games out on the market, hands down. And now they're incorporating characters like the Marvel characters, which is this expansion is going to include Black Widow, Black Panther, and the Winter Soldier, as well as some foiled promo packs if you purchase it from their website. I hope they also do it for retail stores. That'd be pretty cool, only to support like the local FLGS. But hey, I love me some promos, and I do love some full cards. So for King and Country Unmatched, yeah, dueling card game. You're gonna have a deck, a deck specific for every character. You're gonna pick it up, shuffle it, draw some cards. Your cards are gonna determine what you can and can't do, either attack, defend, or activate special abilities. This is gonna be an expansion, includes 3 new characters. Honestly, I think these are great for what they are. They're extremely fun. If you're a fan of the Marvel games, this is going to be a good one. And also, there is a new Unmatched Adventures, which is a campaign-style game that's on GameFound that should be out. I believe it was August, September, which is actually a really quick turnaround for a Kickstarter game. So they must already have it made. They're just kind of doing pre-orders, basically, waiting for it to arrive. That's what I'm thinking, because that's really, really fast. And you're going to be able to use these characters in that campaign. So you can play as Marvel characters in that Unmatched campaign, which for me is a plus and a bonus. I cannot wait. Marvel for King and Country Unmatched, coming out May 17th by Restoration Games. Coming up next is going to be Vaalbara. Vaalbara is going to be by Studio H in collaboration with Hachette Board Games. And this is actually a cool one. I looked up a couple things and a couple videos about this. Really interesting stuff. I've been really getting into these card games, and the card games were like, this is supposed to be a filler card game. And I really enjoyed, for example, right? And this is kind of like a little bit off like the theme of this game. But Marvel Remix, and they don't play similarly at all, so do not confuse that. But Marvel Remix is a card game that's really simple and straightforward. The card play that reminds me a lot from here is going to be Libertalia. However, this game is going to be really way shorter. It's more of a filler game for 2 to 5 players. I don't know if I mentioned the release date. Vaalbara coming out May 17th. And you're going to have a set of cards in your hand. Everyone has the same set of cards. And when you play them out, each card has an initiative and it has a special ability that activates. And you can read that here. Here's the initiative. And the cards are going, depending on what you put in, is you're kind of trying to use a strategy on the cards to try to gain the most points. You can be like being ahead of your neighbor. If you're ahead of your neighbor, gain 3 coins or 3 points. And that is kind of how the card play works. You're going to be deducting what's going on the board, what are they going to play next, and you're going to try to play that next card to try to activate an ability to gain points. That style of comboing card game, or like it's not really deduction, but you're deducing like a little bit of deduction of like, what are they going to play so I can play the best card next? And I think that was a lot about that in Libertalia as well. This game reminds me of like a little bit of that, different theme and shorter game, different production value. It's just cards here. However, it's really interesting. And you do that also to gain points on territory, which is kind of shown here. These are the cards here. It's actually, like I said, the card play is really interesting, and I think this is could be a pretty good filler game. And I think there's a lot of these games coming out as well. I'm excited to see them, and I will talk about more about them more as they come out, only because off the top of my head I forgot the names of the games I played in Gamma. However, this is interesting. This is a good one. This is gonna be Vaalbara, coming out May 17th by Studio H. Coming out May 19th is going to be Nimalia by Le Bout de Jeu in collaboration with Lucky Duck Games. And it's going to be you're designing an animal sanctuary. I got to play this game as well. This is one of the games I got to play at Dash West. And I was pretty surprised at the puzzle it provides. I was honestly really surprised. And I looked at it first, I'm like, this game looks kind of weird. I like the animals, I love the art, but it didn't seem too good. But then the moment I started playing, I'm like, oh, this is actually really interesting. So basically, you're going to have cards, and you're going to be drafting them, passing them to your partner on your left. And after you pass them, you're going to be drafting a card, and you're going to be putting it down. Your whole goal while you're putting these cards down, you're going to have different scoring conditions that are going to activate at different times. And when they activate, they're going to be trying to match the conditions it's putting in front of you. And you do so with the cards you draft. And you're going to be putting them in front of you. And you're going to have a little, not a little, but like a 6x6 grid. And you're going to be able to stack cards up. For example, look, this is a 4 card, right? I guess like a 2x2 card. And you're going to be putting it down on an animal. And you're going to try to match up different patterns here. And you're going to be doing that multiple times across different rounds, trying to match the scoring condition that is going on with the scoring cards on the side. So I want to show you another example. Here, you can put it on like this. You can put it on, you can't put them like, it has to be on top of another card, covering at least one animal. I'm trying to show you, there it is. Perfect. These are going to be different scoring conditions. This is going to be the scoring, like like the scoring pad where you score your cards. This little puzzle here is interesting to tell you what direction or what's going to be the next scoring condition when you're playing the round. So you can start planning ahead like, oh, if I put this card in this section of the grid, well, that's going to help me with the next round. And I'll save that for later, and I'll play on this side of the grid to do this. And then you start building out your puzzle. It's really interesting. I was really impressed. I was not expecting to have so much fun playing it. And it's also like a small little box. It's not nothing crazy big, which is, I think it's perfect for what it is. And easy to transport. This game, like I said, one that's really fun, has a great puzzle, and I cannot wait to actually not just like play it. I played it myself, but I can't just show it to other people who I think are gonna have a lot of fun. It's a great game to just bring out, play a couple, play for maybe I would say 20 minutes after you get like the gist down, even less maybe if you get the gist down, because you draft your cards, put it down. You shouldn't be thinking too much about what's going on, but you will be. It could be a game that you can be thinking a lot about what's going on, what's happening next, only because you're planning for the scoring rounds next time. If you're being like that top tier gamer, right, where you're trying to win the game. I usually just play games to have fun. Great game, Nimalia, coming out May 19th. Coming up next is going to be a big one. Coming out May 19th as well, Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. This game is by Raking Realms, and it was on Kickstarter or crowdfunding. Game found something. It was on crowdfunding a couple of years ago, and it's honestly a really good adventure story game. The game itself has phenomenal. It has great gameplay, great mechanics, and you're going on a grid. And I hope to show pictures here. And let's see. Here we go. There's actually be the combat, but there's going to be locations here where you're going to go, and it's going to activate a certain card that activates a part of the story. And you're going in, and you have a goal. You have a goal in mind to go find and search. It's kind of like a little bit of like an open world RPG. And as you're going through, different story elements get activated. Right? Like, oh, read excerpt X from the chapter book and read that, and it has a phenomenal writing and a great story to it. I have been having a lot of fun so far playing this game. This is probably one of my top story adventure based games ever, only because it's so cool. Also, the miniatures are so immersive. They look beautiful and gorgeous. I don't think you can buy the game without the miniatures, honestly. But you really don't want to have it without. They're all phenomenal. The animals are phenomenal. The characters are great. I think if anything, you should check this one out. Keep in mind the price of it definitely is a little up there. And also, on top of that, they're also releasing all the expansions. So there's going to be the stretch goals for Tainted Grail, the Red Death. The Red Death basically just adds a more difficult campaign and story to the game. There's going to be Echoes of the Past, which just expands on all the campaigns already, adds a couple more things to it. And they're also going to be releasing Tainted Grail Monsters of Avalon expansion. It's going to be just add some more monsters, some more spawns, but monsters that can spawn in. Not a bad option, and if you love minis, these are really good miniatures. I mean, they all look good. I am keeping the game forever just because of the miniatures alone. I want to like have them for like a D&D campaign in the future or something like that. I definitely want to keep them. Some more monsters for the campaign. King Arthur. This no gameplay value at all. Just a cool mini, and that is sick. Look at how cool that is. That miniature is phenomenal. Coming up next is the mounted heroes. So it's going to be some mounted heroes here, some mounts, and these mounts are also good looking. If you want the gameplay is phenomenal, and if you want everything, it's going to be pretty pricey, but the miniatures are definitely worth it. Check out Tainted Grail. Like I said, really good story, great adventure game. I love it, and it's cooperative as well, so you can bring up all your friends, or you can play solo. Playing solo is fun. I played one scenario solo to kind of get the gist of like the gameplay and the mechanics. I just was not understanding what was going on at all for a bit because I am bad at reading rulebooks. However, I got through it and I played it. Super fun. Tainted Grail Fall Avalon coming out May 19th, and all the expansions as well. We're at the end of the video. Thank you. Thank you for making it this far. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching the video. If you like what we're doing here, comment, like, subscribe, the cliches. If you can, let me know in the comments what games are you picking up this week and what did you find interesting from the games we covered in this video. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good one.